It's been almost 3 years since Sony dropped the PlayStation Portal, and my timeline is still full of people arguing over it. Is it an overpriced brick or the best PlayStation 5 accessory they ever made? I've had this exact model in my hand since day one, and today we are cutting through the noise to look at how the hardware is actually holding up in 2026, and why some massive software updates have literally changed how you can use this machine. Is it still worth your hard-earned cash today? Let's talk about it. Alright, let's start with what this thing was actually built for, and that was remote play. When it launched back in 2023, it was strictly a mirror for your console. Your PS5 had to be powered on, doing all the heavy lifting in your living room while it beamed the image to the PlayStation Portal in your hands. But once you hooked it up to your console, it completely opens up access to your entire digital library and your physical library. As if you're a physical game player, one of the big benefits of remote play is that you can still play your physical games. You just pop your physical PS4 or PS5 disc straight into your console, leave it in rest mode, and stream them straight to the portal. It opens up your entire backlog, which is a massive win. Especially if you're like me and have an ever-growing backlog you want to make a dent in, the portal is ideal for helping you grab some gaming here and there whenever you can. To unlock the full 2026 potential for this thing though, you need the top tier PlayStation Plus Premium. Let's be honest people, but paying full retail price for the subscription is a big mistake. Here is the pro tip to make it a bit cheaper, and is exactly what I do every year. Paying the full price for PlayStation Premium, which is £120 in the UK or $160 right now in the US per year, directly on the PlayStation Store is absolutely brutal and just gets more expensive each year. That is exactly why I am super excited to officially partner with today's sponsor, Eniba. I have used them loads in the past to buy discounted PSN wallet top-ups before purchasing anything on the console. So instead of paying the full expensive retail price for PlayStation Plus Premium, you go to Eniba and grab a PlayStation Network wallet top-up card for way cheaper than its face value. You take that code, redeem it on your PlayStation 5, and then you have instantly saved money on your PlayStation Plus subscription or any digital games or DLC you want to buy. It's completely a no-brainer. They have an excellent Trustpilot score, incredible secure transactions, and 24/7 live support if you ever need a hand. Plus, with super clear region tags, you always know you're buying the right code for your account, whether you are playing here in the UK, over in the US, or anywhere else in the world. So do your wallet a massive favour, scan the QR code on the screen right now, or click on the exclusive link pinned at the top of the description and the comments to check out the best deals. Massive thanks to Eniba for sponsoring the video. Alright, now that your wallet is sorted a little bit, let's talk about the absolute biggest reason that this thing is an entirely different beast today than it was way back when it launched. If you haven't been paying attention to the recent firmware updates, you might have missed that Sony finally unlocked the Portal's console-free cloud streaming. Sony rolled out an update that allows you to stream select PlayStation 5 games directly to the Portal without needing a PlayStation 5 at all. If your house loses power, or your console crashes while you're away on a trip somewhere, or you don't even own a PlayStation 5 console, it doesn't matter anymore. If you have that PlayStation Plus Premium subscription, you can pull games straight from Sony's servers directly to the PlayStation Portal, streaming it like magic over the cloud. You don't even need to be in the same postcode as your console. It's all kind of weird when it first rolled out. It was amazing that you could do this so well. Jumping into games like Astrobot and feeling all the DualSense haptics work perfectly, or causing absolute chaos in Grand Theft Auto 5, completely separate of any local hardware, is honestly wild. It changes the entire value proposition of this device. You can play massive titles like Cyberpunk 2077 and God of War Ragnarok, bouncing between games on the catalogue without ever having to manage your console storage space. But there is a catch. First, as we mentioned, it strictly requires that top tier premium subscription, which means you need to pay monthly to play any cloud games, which isn't ideal. But I get that Sony needs to pay for the servers to stream the games to you, which is very expensive. However, keep in mind, as this is a subscription service, you need to pay to play, basically, unless you have a PlayStation 5 console to remote play from. And if you are on the extra or essential tiers of PlayStation Plus, you are out of luck. And second, cloud streaming is still region locked. If you live in places like Australia or in the Middle East, you are still totally locked out of this feature right now due to the server infrastructure. We assume Sony hasn't said much about it, so we don't really know. Sony, if you are watching this, let everyone get in on this globally, please, and bring it to the lower price tiers also. Another cool perk of the cloud game streaming with PlayStation Plus Premium is you can stream most PlayStation 5 games which you own digitally from the cloud. So this means PlayStation Plus monthly games which you claim, or digital games which you buy from the PlayStation Store. You can stream most of these PlayStation 5 games from the cloud without needing your PlayStation 5 to be switched on, or even to own a PlayStation 5, which is quite cool. If you want to get a portal and test out some PlayStation 5 games before buying a PlayStation 5 console, it is a really good way to do that. So that brings us to the ultimate question between cloud streaming and traditional remote play on the PlayStation Portal. Which is actually the best way to play? Well, let's talk about some real world performance, because the massive 7.0 update completely changed the game under the hood. Since the 7.0 software update, remote play performance has improved to the point where I genuinely believe it beats cloud streaming. At least on my home network, it definitely does, based on my testing, which is great to see, as I have a huge library of physical games I'm working my way through on my PlayStation 5 console and the PlayStation Portal. The image via remote play is incredibly crisp, and the input delay has dropped significantly. When playing at home on my own network, I'm seeing latency consistently sitting around 2 milliseconds compared to 25 milliseconds, which is what I was getting via cloud game streaming. If you're all about responsiveness, that is a massive game changer. Cloud streaming sits around 25 to 30 milliseconds for me. Is it playable? Absolutely. For casual single player games, you will adjust to that slight delay within a few minutes, but if you're highly sensitive to input lag, you will feel the difference between the two. And another difference though is the convenience. The cloud streaming is more convenient because you don't need to physically change your games in your PlayStation 5 like I need to do when I'm changing, physical games, because you can only have one game in your PlayStation 5 at the one time. If you want to change your physical game, you need to get up and change the disc, whereas with the cloud streaming, you just switch between them on the fly. But that's up to personal preference. If that bothers you, it bothers you. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And here's a massive detail for you PlayStation 5 Pro owners out there. If you use remote play, the portal will stream the PlayStation 5 Pro enhanced versions of your games, complete with all that beautiful ray tracing and PSSR2 upscaling squeezed right down into your hands on the PlayStation Portal. If you rely on cloud streaming only, you are currently stuck streaming the base PlayStation 5 versions of those games. It's not a big difference because the screen is obviously small, it's an 8-inch LCD screen, but it's just worth noting. But everyone listen to me carefully, whether you are rocking a base PS5 or a Pro and you're playing via remote play, hardwiring your console to your router via an Ethernet cable is absolutely non-negotiable. If your PS5 is relying on Wi-Fi to send the signal and your Portal is relying on Wi-Fi to catch it, you are going to have a bad time. Hardwire the console. It is the only performance tip for the Portal I absolutely swear by. Now, if you're streaming from the cloud, you don't need to worry about that, obviously. Now, it's a portable device, right? So what happens when you actually leave the house? Taking it off the grid is a tale of two connections. When I take the Portal out and about, my absolute preferred way to play is tethering it directly to my iPhone's 5G mobile hotspot, and that's what I recommend you all do. As long as you have a fast 5G signal, it runs pretty flawlessly and it feels like magic. Just watch on your data, make sure you've got an unlimited data plan, as you will tear through it using the Portal. It's so much better than relying on public coffee shop Wi-Fi, which is almost always heavily throttled and crippled by network congestion, which means You probably won't have a good time playing on your portal in a coffee shop if you can play it at all, that is. Hotel Wi-Fi, on the other hand, is a complete coin toss. Sometimes it works surprisingly well, and other times you won't even be able to get past the connection screen. If the hotel's got good Wi-Fi, you'll be jamming. If not, you'll be stuck. Because of these variables, I always recommend sticking to a single player game if you are playing away from home, or casual PvE multiplayer like spreading democracy with your mates in Helldivers 2. I completely advise against playing competitive multiplayer on the portal. You're streaming a game, which inherently adds lag, and you will be at a massive disadvantage against someone playing natively at home on a console with a broadband internet connection, so just don't bother trying it. Stick to the single player backlog and you'll have a much better time. Let's shift gears and talk about the physical hardware itself. We are 3 years deep almost into this generation, and after hundreds of hours of wear and tear, how is it actually holding up? To be completely honest, on my actual launch day portal, the right thumbstick doesn't work properly anymore. You can look right and left on it, but you cannot look up and down, which is really annoying. I've actually covered this in a separate video, which you can go and check out if you want to see what happened. However, other than that, it's working good. I have since picked up 2 other portals, so I've got all 3 models you can buy right now, and they've all been working flawlessly apart from the stick issue I had on the launch model. You can currently get the white model, the midnight black model, and the PlayStation 30th Anniversary Edition. Let me know in the comments which one you think looks the best. As for the one with the broken stick, I just use it for games that don't rely on looking up and down, you know, like certain indie games and stuff. And honestly, it's the model I use if I'm playing games while chilling out in the bath. I'm not really as worried about accidentally dropping it in the water since it's already a little bit broken. Overall though, I have to hand it to Sony, the comfort factor is completely unmatched, because this is basically a full-size DualSense controller split in half and glued to a screen. It is easily the most comfortable handheld device I've ever used. It's a lot more comfortable for long gaming sessions than, say, the Nintendo Switch 2 is. If you're sitting on the couch for a 3-hour trophy grind, your hands are not going to cramp up. Also, the haptics and adaptive triggers feel fantastic, just like on the DualSense controller we all know and love. The 8-inch 1080p 60Hz LCD monitor is also a beauty. It's really one of the best LCD panels I've seen. I know it's no OLED, but it's really very good. It's very crisp and vibrant with colours that just are popping off it. It's also a touchscreen, but that only really gets used for navigating menus or using the touchpad, not for playing games. No complaints here from me, though I do wish we had a dedicated touchpad button. The touchscreen is not the best. But I'm not going to sugarcoat my gripes, because a few of Sony's design choices still annoy me. The fact that this device has no Bluetooth audio chip is a massive disappointment. You're completely locked into either buying an expensive PlayStation Link headset or falling back into a wired pair of headphones using the 3.5mm headphone jack. Also, not being able to easily switch out the sticks is another annoyance, as stick drift is notorious on Sony's controllers, and just like the issue I've got with my launch day portal, if something breaks out of warranty, you're stuck. It's also still using Wi-Fi 5 instead of Wi-Fi 6 or better, which makes zero sense for a dedicated streaming device. And let's talk about the touchpad. Because it doesn't have a physical touchpad, it maps those inputs to the touchscreen. This means you're constantly taking your thumbs off the sticks and leaving smudgy fingerprints all over your beautiful 1080p display just to open up your map, for example. Keep a microfiber cloth in your case because you are going to need it. Also, please everyone remember, you need a really good internet connection to play this thing. It does absolutely nothing without it. There's no strong hardware inside the portal to play games locally, so don't think this is a full dedicated handheld. It's not. It's an extension of your PlayStation 5 console, or a cheaper access point into the PlayStation ecosystem if you don't already own a PlayStation 5 and want to play it via cloud game streaming. So if you're someone who shares a main TV with your family, or if you have kids running around and you can't take over the living room TV whenever you want, or if you just want to blast through some side quests in bed after a long day at work, this is easily the best accessory Sony has made this generation in my opinion, and it's just got better over time. If Sony keeps updating the Portal this well, it could get even better. It's great for casual gamers looking to play through big single player games or small indie games, in my opinion, and just bust through their backlog, but I'd avoid competitive play or lots of online multiplayer on the Portal. If you're not sure about it, I genuinely say go and order one from somewhere with a good returns policy and give it a go, as your experience depends a lot on your internet connection, and if it works out, happy days, you will love it. I genuinely find it bizarrely immersive playing games on the Portal. It really hooks you in, and it's great for retro games as well. Your old PS1, PS2 games look fantastic on the smaller screen and really look the way you remember them, instead of on a big screen where they don't look too good. And if it doesn't work out for you, you can then easily return it for a refund. And if you want to know the best types of games to play on the Portal, just like we were mentioning some of the retro games there, make sure you check out this video on screen right now.